Little black book. You know what time it is. 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 Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. We are talking to you guys today about Married at First Sight. We're dealing with the latest episode, which was episode 2, talking, I guess, obviously about the couples that got married. We're talking about Gina and Clint. We're talking about, Harris and Jasmine didn't actually get married, but we saw a little bit of them. We also saw Kirsten, and we also saw Shaquille. And we also saw Chris and Nicole also get married. So we'll have a quick discussion. I know last time I just did a discussion solely on Kirsten and Shaquille, but we'll add a few more to other couples, and I'll show you a few pictures so you guys can be back in acquaintance with it, just in case, because I know it's early season, it's hard to remember the names and the faces. I'm here with Sean to discuss that latest episode, and don't worry, we'll be back here on Thursday night to discuss the latest episode once again. So, and this is a little impromptu one. Happy MLK Day as well. I've seen the statue. It ain't great, but we have to move. All right. Sean, talk to them. What are you telling me, bro? What was your initial thoughts on this episode? What stood out to you, I should say? What stood out to you on this initial episode? What stood out to you? What moments stood out to you on this episode?
Well, I don't think none of them are going to make it. So that just, I don't even have an ounce of hope. Not an ounce for any of them. But I think, the order of the day is, it's like the tale of two cities. It's either unmet expectations or, giddy and in love, right? So I mean, out the gate, it seems like what's her name? I'm about to call her Nicole, and I know her. Is her name Nicole?
Which one do you want? Let me see. Let me show you. I'll show you the pictures so you can actually see them, because
I keep forgetting her. The
even
young
the
lady
TV.
that has the tattoo on her arm.
I think that's.
I have to write.
Nicole?
Once I'm like the kind of person. Once I write things down, I'll get more familiar. Yeah, her. I don't remember her
Yes,
name.
Nicole.
Oh, it is
Yeah, Nicole
Nicole.
and Chris.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Oh, so I was right. So Nicole, I think I think she's going to be a lot to handle. I think she's going to be a lot to handle. I think she's going in very eagerly with a lot of opinions, or maybe not opinions, but with a lot of this personality. And the dude whose name I definitely don't know, maybe Chris. I'm gonna just make up something. He seems like he's just super quiet. And the thing with me, I just keyed in when he was like, I wonder if she's going to, find me attractive. It's like, come on, bro. It's like, bro, I just think starting off that way is, it's like you're gonna, when especially when you're up against somebody that is a little more assertive, a little more strong in their opinion. It just sets the stage for him to be eaten up alive, because he seems like he's lacking confidence in some kind of ways, right? And theoretically, he's entering into the marriage process with the right idea. When he was sitting with his guys, when he was talking about, that he's kind of taken a little break from, dating and being intimate to prepare himself for the process, which I think are all the right things in the making. I just don't know that those two will be a match. And I know Mafs loves the, if opposites attract, theory. So they like to put people and yin and yang them to death. So I don't know, but I just think like her personality is going to overshadow and overpower, his kind of more reserved, quiet, laid back, demure kind of way of being, right? So that's that on him. We have the girl Dominique. I just think like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? She's 25. She's 25, 26. It's like, nah, B. I'm not gonna be able to do it. I'm not gonna be able to do it. She's too young, bro. I'm not. And then her mama signed her up. I mean, mama looks good now. Just listen. You saw the mama. You remember what her mother looks like?
I do remember mama. Yeah.
Mom's very attractive. You know, Max be having some baddie cougar mamas. You know, Stasia's mama was a cutie. Yeah, like I don't see them two.
McKinley.
You know, yeah, I don't know if they're gonna make it. I mean, we're gonna see their wedding next week, but it seems like there's drama. Seems like he's MIA. I just feel like she needs a little more seasoning, a little more maturity. And her behavior at that strip club let me know that she might just need a little timeout, you know, little timeout. But you know, that's that, you know. And who else do we have? We have Gina and Clint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see those two going the distance either. And funny enough, I don't know if you watched any of the after show, or but they live in the same building. And
yes, they did 505.
Yeah, and then she wound up finding that out, but she never knew him. So I don't know. I just don't know if those two are gonna be a match. He seems like he's you know, he's been running the streets himself. I'm not sure if he's quite ready to get settled down.
Mm.
Yeah, you know, I think he's at the age where usually men settle down in you know, late 30s, 40s, you know, and are ready for a family. But I just don't know about his personality and him being attuned to be married. So there's that part. He reminds me a little of Eric. I know I was telling you that Eric and Virginia from a few seasons back. And who's the other couple I'm missing? I'm missing somebody. Oh, you know, we'll definitely get into, you know, Kirsten and Shaq, but Aries is definitely he's gonna put poor Jasmine through the ringer. Meanwhile, listen, they got some really good looking sisters. I mean, just like across the board, the sisters are winning this particular you know, this particular season of Mafs. I mean, just like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful women.
Absolutely.
But Aries is definitely. I don't see it. The cousin was giving him a Hail Mary. Like, bro.
She said, "Listen, you were for the streets, and for the streets you shall return." Don't
Exactly, bro. She wasn't. It wasn't even like you know, like somebody kind of gives you like, you sure you ready to? She was like, we can get in the car. The car is running. Let's go. Let's go right now, on camera, no less. So that just tells me ain't no way, bro. I'm sorry. Unless he does a complete 180, ain't no way. He's gonna entertain us for sure, but he ain't gonna be, you know, settling down for no marriage.
No, I definitely hear you on that one. To be fair as well, and just to get a picture up so that everyone can see as well, that was Harris and Jasmine as well. Can he be a Woody 2.0? We're hoping so. You know, we hope he can do it, but you know what? Woody was a special one, so that's what I'm going to say. Woody was a very special individual person. You know, we'll be lucky for lightning to strike twice. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say on that one. All right, let's start breaking down some of these couples then. Let's start taking it one by one. Chris and Nicole, let's start with them first and foremost. Chris and Nicole, this is them. Supposed nice guy, supposed girl who described herself as a bitch with a heart. And so we're 9 minutes in, so I can swear. She describes herself as a person who's got a bitch with a heart. And he's a nice guy, and then she, you know, was getting all excited about the fact he gave her a gift and knew her already, it seems. What's your kind of thoughts again to their relationship? I mean, will she run over him? Do you feel like she's gonna run over him? Do you feel like she's gonna play him? What's your thoughts then in regards to that? Because he just seemed like a very easygoing guy, but it feels like he might be someone who suffers with being able to implement his boundaries in a sense.
Yeah, he was appearing to be people pleasing, right?
Mm.
And a lot of the ladies I've been hearing across like social media and just, you know, this is the context. And I mean, I think to a certain extent it's true, right? You know, women will settle down into their more feminine place when they have a man that's masculine and shows that he is capable of being the leader. And in a lot of instances, it doesn't mean that because Chris is quiet and because he is a little more on the laid back side, doesn't mean he can't be a leader. But with a woman that is already very, you know, it's going to be hard for her to not run circles around him. So that's what I think. I think if he's going into it hoping that she's attracted to him, hoping that they can work out, he's going to be very pliable. And I just think that never works out. We always see how that goes, right? It may start off kind of okay in the beginning, but then, you'll see a woman getting frustrated and annoyed and slightly resentful when there's no pushback. It's like, well, what are you doing if I'm doing, everything, or you're just letting me, get away with everything? So that's how I see it. Maybe he'll surprise us. Maybe there's another element, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Chris and Nicole, I think the issue is that he doesn't strike me as somebody who can stand up for himself very well. Do you know what I mean? And because he can't stand up for himself very well, it feels like he's gonna get run over by Nicole's very strong disposition. And I said this in my other video. I said as well, even when she was picking her dress, and guys, I don't often talk about physiques, people's face. I just don't do it. It's not my thing. But I did notice her physique. It was very, I would say, less curvaceous, less uh, seemingly. why, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that, sir? Why are you making that face? Why are you making that face, bro?
Yeah,
What's wrong with
Ono
you?
just said a good word. Muscular. Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
But even
Thank-
muscular, you can have a bit of muscular and still have a look. Still have
Just let it be.
a feminine frame. You know what I mean?
Y'all see the tap dance we have to do, right? This is real. You
Yo,
gotta be very careful.
yo, and again, it's not an insult. It's more of a case of observation. I just
Yes.
noticed how, because listen, and that's what I'm saying, that some women are muscular, but they still keep the feminine frame. She actually is. She's thick. She's thick, and without as many curves. And so it's like everything about her, because seemingly even her attitude is very manly. I even noticed her friends as well. Her friends, if you notice the friends that were around her, I think I noted down they were gay. It's like, yo, I was like, so she's actually the most masculine presence, even in the friendship group. Like, no offense to the men, whatever, but they were carrying a lot. It seemed like they were carrying a lot of feminine energy, and so I was like, okay, that means now she's gonna get into a relationship with someone like Chris, where she's already in a relationship with friendships, where she seems to be more of the masculine presence. And I'm talking about when before she met her girls at the wedding. I'm talking about when I think she went to a little lunch, whatever. She was the most masculine presence, and I was like, ah. So then, if you practicing that day in day out, you get into a relationship. If she gonna do the same thing she gonna do the same thing with Chris, and then she also has the ability to hold on to a relationship too long. She said herself, right? And I was like, okay, well, you know what, fam? What's gonna happen is, you know what, she's gonna probably end the relationship when she wants to end the relationship. She's gonna be one of those people. Chris can leave when she decides Chris can leave. All right, Chris can exit this when she decides. It's very much giving me slightly Morgan and Bin again, but without, I guess, the toxicity in that aspect. But she's got a soft side. I'm not saying that she hasn't got a soft side, because definitely she has. I just think that she uses the very hard exterior to cover the very soft side of her. Whether Chris is going to have enough time, whether Chris is going to have the tools, the resources to break the mold to get to that soft side and get that, that's another story. And also, added part to that masculine energy, if you listen to her conversation with her dad, she said she was very close with her dad. That makes a bit more sense. Some women are like daddy's girls, but they stay feminine. Some girls actually become more like their father in terms of they spend so much time with their father, they take on a lot of that energy as well. Some people go the other way. So yeah, there's some things I noticed.
Yeah, and I think like I don't I'm struggling now like you. A guy like him, I don't know if that's going to be his speed. And the one thing that I'll say, and people can have their differing opinions, but whenever a woman has that sleeve tattoo, like a long tattoo, like down your side of your arm, it's very hard. The aesthetic has to be super feminine on the other side, on every part else, in order for you not to look a little stronger, right? It just makes you look a little more masculine, right? So listen, oh no, leave me alone. You're not up here. So I'm struggling. This is 2023. I'm trying. I'm really trying. I'm trying. But yeah, no, I have to say that. I mean, there's no way I cannot be honest and not say that, because when you have that arm tattoo, like it's a lengthy part of your arm, may not even be a full sleeve, but it's just very masculine. I'm sorry. It is. And like for a guy like him, like it could work. They said I'm tap dancing, just spit it out. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to choose my words wisely here. But yeah, for a guy like him who's, like a guy that has tattoos, they're going to work out well together because he's going to like it, she's going to like it. Just like people who have a lot of piercings, they usually go well together. But if one is on this side and the other is on that side, it's always difficult. And it's not to say you can't have one tattoo or two or three or whatever, placed on your body. But when you have those very strong ones, yeah, you need somebody that likes that because they got it.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear what you're saying.
The struggle is real.
Hey, we're trying to be respectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to be respectful. We don't want to be rude. So that's why we're trying to choose our words carefully. We want to practice what we preach. But no, yeah, no, I definitely hear that. And so I think it's going to be an interesting battle between the two of them. I think her need for wanting intimacy and wanting to be close to him, I think that need will play a part. But if she's so strong, she's going to end up doing the opposite of actually drawing him close. She's going to end up pushing him away. And this is a lesson to a lot of people as well. I think we're going to watch Nicole, and a lot of people can actually learn a lesson that they're actually soft in the center, but they have a hard exterior. And then when they actually really want the intimacy and the person to show them actual love, they struggle and they push the person away rather than drawing them close. It's also given me very much Henry and Christina vibes from a few seasons ago as well. That kind of, wanting that attention, wanting that love, but then, then you're with some guy who you don't feel has the strength to kind of handle you. And then it's like you end up crushing the person because they're quote unquote too nice or too soft for you. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I don't think his niceness is going to win her over. I don't think his niceness is going to make her fully attracted to him. I think she will end up destroying him. Okay, I think she will end up destroying old boy. That's my personal sentiments. In all reality and all truth, I think, yeah, I don't think it's going to end very well. Okay, then let's move on to Gina and Clint. What was your situation with them? He was a free spirit, but he works in tech, and she's also got her own business. Very pretty woman, can't lie to you, very pretty. and they were living in the same building, 505. And she said, I think I might have seen you before, but I'm not sure. You know what I mean? But they are now married, and he says sex is very important. Sex is very important, and she gave an answer in the first episode saying, you know what, like, I'm all about the emotional connection. You know what I mean? Sex is important, but emotional connection first. Want to get to know your person. I'm not in a rush to kind of have that sex issue. What did you glean from them? Because even after their conversation, I don't really get to hear much of their conversation when they were sitting down talking one to one. But what's your thoughts? Oh, you're muted, bro.
My bad. It seemed very surface level, you know. And I did. It seemed like they had a spark, but you just never know, bro. Like, I think their conversation was surface. I don't know if she's attracted to him. I'm not sure if he's really attracted to her. You know, because sometimes, you know, people of the other persuasion, sometimes they don't like women a little more shapely. You know, she has a nice shape. She's a little more curvy. She talked about it, in the previous episode, right? That she's worked to keep herself a particular size, but there's some work there. I don't, you know, for white guys, I'm not sure. I don't know. I know that a lot of, white guys, sometimes they just like very petite, they're not into, the curves and things, right? So I'm not sure. And what was even hilarious, 'cause I'm going to get off this tap dancing train about shapes and bodies, and I'm going to go to something safer. He gave her sailing gloves, bro.
Is it?
He gave her, when they did the wedding gift exchange, this came out on the Afterlife. He gave this woman sailing gloves. So yeah, I don't know how thoughtful he is. I think that could be one of things, right? Like if you are a sailor, which obviously that's a passion of his and something that he likes to enjoy doing. I think that's a nice gift, but that can't be the only gift. You know what I mean? Somebody mentioned it in the comments too. I wasn't going to go into it, but I did think about it. The fact that he talked about his body count and being with 65 plus women. It's like, bro, there's
no point in saying it.
Yeah,
to say it's kind of crude.
Yeah. So I just don't know how. I don't get it. I have to see more of his personality. He seems a little slightly like Mitch in the mindset, like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Even when his friends were, when he was talking to his friends, I didn't get the idea that they thought like, because your friends know you the best, right? And they just were kind of like, okay, I guess, they almost said like, are you just doing this because everybody around you is kind of like married and settled, right? And you are the only one. AW, he's 40. So I'm not sure. I don't feel like he's ready. I don't know how much she's gonna be wanting to work together with him in a relationship either. Because I think sometimes you see the different personality types that come on to Mafs. It's like sometimes they come expecting the person to be all the way there, right? And just do minimal work or just make minimal adjustments on their part. And I kind of feel like that's how she is. And somebody mentioned it, right? On the after party, she tap danced a little too, but it doesn't seem like she was fully attached to his aesthetic. She's not attracted to him.
So she's not attracted to him at all.
I don't think so. I mean, we'll have to see more, but right now it seems like not so much.
Okay. No, I think obviously, like the fact that he mentioned he had 65 sexual partners is a problem for me. And I say a problem, not necessarily the number, it's the fact he's mentioning it. Like, it's the fact that he's mentioning it. Like, if you say, oh, look, I've said to quite a few people, I ain't gonna lie to you. But you mentioning 65, you're so proud, he's proud of it. And that makes me think there's an emphasis on the sexual, maybe a bit too much. And maybe we should have believed him when he said, obviously, sex is very important to him, that sex may be an overriding um, emphasis for him and also a form of validation as well, right? But the reality is, I'm not saying that you should be, I'm not saying, oh, go in shame or anything like that, because, men and women are slightly different. There's a double standard there that actually favors us as men. But what I'm saying is, why would you mention it? Like, I just don't understand why you'd mention a number. You know what I mean? I don't know why you'd mention a number. I don't know why you'd need to say, yeah, I've slept with 65 women. Like, it's a boastful kind of statement to make. And actually, that kind of makes me wonder how sensible of a man he is, how grounded he is, how humble he is. It's almost given that I'm arrogant underneath the surface. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, obviously, him giving gloves to her on the wedding day just kind of told me that, you know what? She has to get on my program or she can get off. That's what it's going to be, right? Now, innately, it's not wrong because, like I said, if you meet someone on the streets and you start talking to them, you have every right to say, hey, my program is XYZ. You can get with it or don't get with it. But we are married at first sight. Unfortunately, get on my program don't work. We've seen that with Oliver Jean and Oliver Jean or whatever his name is, Elijah, and Katina, and we see how that ends up. Get on my program on Married at First Sight don't ever really work well because, again, you don't know the person. Number two, you're actually marrying, not dating, and the part where most people spend time trying to figure out that ish before they get married is lost. You're going straight into marriage, and that's where people can have the warfare as well. So um I think I would say that um, in this scenario, I don't think they're going to make it. I think there's going to be some issues that are going to come up. I think his arrogance potentially will cause issues. I think also maybe potentially as well, she might not be as, I don't know how she wasn't asked by it, but someone said it slightly giving the kind of Brett vibes almost in a little bit as well. So I don't know. We'll see how she handles not seeing, or we'll see how she handles some of his arrogance and his pituity as well. I don't know. Um, we'll see. She seems like a very smart individual, very pretty as well. We'll see how she handles him in the coming weeks as well. We'll see how it handles. Mm. All right. Next couple we're going to talk about is um, Dominique and McKinley. Dominique and McKinley. Want to know your views, Dominique and McKinley. What's going on there, B?
Yeah, I just think it's very premature for her to be getting married. I
Mm.
And then she talked about the reasons why she was getting married is because or why she came on the show. She had mentioned her mother, obviously her mother submitted her for the process, right? Already
Yeah.
red flag. Your mom signed you up. And the mom said, and the reason she was like, she figured she'd go for it is because um she had made bad dating choices in the past, right? Her men selection really wasn't good. Mafs is not not the next stop after you are in your 20s and making bad dating choices, and then you run up against Mavs and get married at first sight. Come on. Oh man, that just when I heard that, I was like, mama, 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 like, what are you doing? And just her whole idea of marriage. Well, it's like I'll give it a shot. It's like you know, it's like the song, the Jagged Edge song. We might as well do it. Let's get married. It's like, no, 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 no. I I think she's pushing it and she needs a little more seasoning, a little more time. And I don't know if McKinley is going to vibe with her. I don't know. They claim they ask these people aesthetically what they like, but then we see season after season where people are just not pleased from the aesthetic standpoint. And I mean, one of the things I'm starting to learn too is as watching this show, yes, we are visual, but when you're getting married at first sight, everything is heightened, right? And we're going to talk about, hopefully, we'll get into a little bit about, and have a discussion about the whole Shaquille and Kirsten interaction. Um, I think when you're going, it's almost like when you choose to get married to somebody, you've seen them over the course of time and seasons to a certain extent, and then you've come to a place to choose this is who you want to be with. When you're married at first sight, you're seeing them at the first time at the altar. So attraction is it's like, as humans, that's all you have to go on. So if you kind of just throw somebody a curveball, I think it's very hard for them to recover. And we see that. We saw it with Brett and Ryan. We saw it with so many different people, right? And I just don't know. I mean, did McKinley say, like, McKinley might have said, hey, I'm open, but sometimes people say they're open. One, and I get it. It probably as a white person, sometimes you're kind of hesitant to say, "Oh, I only want to date white girls," right? So you might say, "I'm open," but you might be open thinking, "Okay, you're gonna get a Ariana Grande, or pick your biracial or black person that's atypical, or looks what you still think fits in the frame of whatever." Dominique, although she's attractive, she's still, again, she's a little on the thicker side. So sometimes, that's not everybody's preference. And I don't know if that's his. And it seems like he's dancing around and running around. I don't know if he's not going to show up or he's having some level of delay in getting to the wedding. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happens. There's some snafu that goes on with their wedding. I don't know if it's her or him. It seems like it's her, but I also think his personality, I don't know if they're gonna mix and gonna mesh well. I think because she's younger, I don't know what his patience level is, right? Because as much as men do like younger women, you also have to have patience in that scenario. So I definitely don't think these two are going to make it at all. At all. I don't see it. I think they're going to have an early departure at some level, like a Chris and Alyssa did in the previous season. I just don't. I think this one is not going to be a good one at all. You're mute.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's crazy. I think with the Dom situation, the red flags are there evidently from the reasons why she even joined the show. That's from the jump. She just looks like a party animal. And listen, she may come round, but you know what? We know this is TV. This is them, potentially trying to stir up the pot, trying to get people to feel some type of way. He's a supposed nice guy as well. Again, who's an introvert. Da 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 da. Um, this is Virginia Eric again. Yeah, that's the kind of energy too as well. But yeah, I think, you know what? If anybody was going to stay together, I'd probably be these two. I'll be honest with you, just because we may see the party side, but she might just be that nice girl as well. She might just be that kind girl. You know what I mean? I didn't get any bad malicious vibes from her. I just feel like sometimes she likes to party. And my thing is, she mentioned about not wanting to be a burden on her mum. And that makes people either go one or two ways: become super responsible in their adulthood, or they are free spirits. And if that free spirit is being tamed, she's gonna feel like she's being controlled. That's gonna be potentially an issue in their relationship. Him giving rules may make her feel like she's being controlled because she chose a path of freedom, right? So the fact is, she didn't want to be a burden onto her mom. She chose freedom. She chose to have a good time. She chose that I want to be a free spirit. Being in a relationship where the person may, um, you know, being a person where the person may want a bit more structure and want you to behave in a particular way. and may say, hey, this doesn't work for me, may cause her to flee the nest earlier than she needs to. May do. So she's got to be careful. All right, cool. We spoke about Dominique and McKinley. Let's get on now to let's talk about Aris and Jasmine. I know it was very brief. There wasn't much on there. But Jasmine and Aris, the cousin was like, yo, Bedrin, you're not ready. You're not about this life. Get your ass out of this space. It's not too late. Go home, Raja. And yeah, so what was your thoughts with Aris and, and Jasmine? What was your thoughts on that?
That's like this is just why they gotta do us like this, you know? We love to root for black love, but this is not, I don't think this is gonna be it. The cousin, I mean, just the pulling somebody aside on their wedding day is always very cringy. But doing it on camera, just it just makes me think there's really either stuff to be concerned about or this person has an ulterior motive. I don't know. Somebody said maybe that's their play cousins. I don't know, but I just feel like whenever we see somebody, especially a member of the opposite sex, that's so super concerned with the person getting married and has super reservations early, it's just a sign for disaster and some level of being, right? And even the friend, one of his dudes, that was in, I guess, one of his groomsmen, was even saying like, this is serious, this is marriage, this isn't just playing here. I hope he knows. Aries is a bit of a playboy, and old dude he's 39. So
He's
it's
never had
not
a real
like he's
relationship, isn't it?
still young. So I mean, he's young. Sorry, because I'm older than him. But I'm saying like it's not like he's in his 20s or maybe very early 30s, right? You're at a point where this is the time where you're kind of scaling back a bit. And everybody is talking with all of these concerns, just makes me think like everybody can be wrong. So, and those ways don't change that much. He did talk about going to therapy. He did mention that, but that's a go-to line. So I would need to hear again, what did he learn? What are the things that he's doing different? And I know as much as Elijah Wan and Isaac is triggering, even during his process, he mentioned, hey, listen, these are some of the things that I made substantial to change my ways, right? This is how I distanced myself from this. I signed off of, I wasn't on dating apps. I wasn't on this. So, I need to hear some of the steps that he's taken to do better. And I haven't heard any of it. I've just heard he submitted himself to the Mafs process and he's, and then everybody around him is like, you, bro? It's like, you really? And people are seeing like Woody. I never watched that season, but I don't know what Woody's approach was like when he got on the show. Was Woody somebody that was still, talking like he was talking and everybody around him had a lot of concerns, or did he just have a past?
I think similar enough, they were concerned about his behavior and past. He hadn't really had a long-term relationship as well. But he actually put some work. Well, we found out later that he actually put some work in as well. So that was slightly different. No, slightly different. So similar as well. So yeah, Woody obviously did come off as a player, but we found out later that he actually had done the work. We found out he went to therapy. We found out he was doing counseling, and still was doing it whilst they were doing it. Right, talking about his anger issues they had to deal with. But we found that out later on. Now, whether Aris has done the exact same thing, whether Aris actually has put the work in, we don't know yet. So we're going to have to give him a little bit of space to see if he went and did the work as well. But right now, he's looking like Woody at the very beginning, which was he's looking like a player. He's looking like somebody who is not ready for a relationship, looking like somebody who's not ready to love. He's looking like somebody who's not um, uh, sensible, and the omissions from the cousin is so strong. It's given me pause because we've seen this before. Last season, the brother of Justin was also very strong on his feelings and thoughts on Justin, and he was right. So, we have to take her words with some caution and say, well, there may be some smoke here, but if there's some smoke, there's probably some fire as well. So, um, this is a major thing as well that may play a part in this. Obviously, we know that Jasmine is ready for marriage. She's ready for having kids. I'm not saying that she's a better partner or anything. I'm just saying that she's ready for that. That's what she wants. That's what she desires. But whether she is also ready as well, we don't know because, like I said, we're making a joke about her buying dogs every time she thinks about kids. Yeah, it's a bit long. But like I said as well, she too, when she spoke about why she was on the show, I was like, because she has problems choosing the right kind of guy because she's always choosing Build-A-Bear men. And so is she gonna see Aris as another Build-A-Bear project? Baby.
Didn't she say too that she had dated like F boys and stuff like that?
I'm not sure it was F boys. I definitely know it was Project Building Boys.
Mm.
I don't remember if it was F boys. It might have been, but I just remember it being
Somebody said that. I don't know who it was. One of the ladies. I don't.
Project
Huh?
Boys.
Yeah.
I just remember it just being Project Boys. Someone said Aris is a project, absolutely. But I don't know if she can
Oh, and
complete the
somebody
project.
said he only put his dating apps on pause. So that's that's like,
He said, "Look, just in case y'all ain't gonna play me, okay? I'm there for 8 weeks, but it may not
he's
be.
like, I'm ready to hit I'm ready to hit this submit button any day now. Give me a reason.
You ain't gonna play me. You might be fool you. You might you gonna get this work because I may have to come back to this space. I ain't gonna quit my work. I'm gonna put this on save and drafts. Okay, I may have to come back and relive this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that was a key thing. So
Now oh go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I haven't said anything. You're good, bro. Go for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think they could potentially be the Elijah one and Katina because those two are making another go at it again. And you know, I always was silently rooting for them. Not so silently, not so silently, rooting for them to make it. So, yeah, they look like they're going at it again. So maybe they'll be that couple. I, he just makes me very, very nervous. All roads lead to danger, but he might just turn it around. There just might be some slight chance of hope for them too. So, there's that.
I ain't saying a thing, bro. I ain't saying a
There's
thing.
that. Well, he said, listen, that was before he didn't know they were going to choose him.
I mean, listen, I just think that's a poor preparation. I'm being honest with you. That's poor preparation. I think he needs to take his time. I think that's poor preparation. I think that's not going to help you in any shape or form. Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to work very well. I'll be honest with you. I'm looking at it and I'm going, I don't think that's going to work for me. I don't think that's going to work for me. I don't think you having sex before you get onto the show a day before is good preparation. You're not mentally prepared. You're not emotionally prepared. You certainly aren't physically prepared. You definitely ain't sexually prepared. I'm just saying. So, yep, for me, no. Nope. Sorry. No.
Profound Thinking says he sees Mark and Lindsay coming.
I don't know if it was that bad, but I definitely hear what you're saying on that one. Last one, Kirsten and Shaq.
Mm.
I'm gonna hold it in this, so you can let me know what's your thoughts on this,
Mm.
Captain.
Mm.
What are your thoughts on
Woo.
this situation?
Just can we just sit in admiration of her?
Fine ass woman.
Chef's kiss.
Mm. The chef's kiss, you know.
I'm
Go for
simping over. I'm sipping over. I'm simping over Kirsten. So
it.
that's a fine woman. That is a fine, fine woman. Let me tell you. So look, exterior, she's beautiful. She's got some work to do though, because
Mm-hmm.
don't come to Mass with a list. Because the one thing I have realized, Mass is gonna tell you in your list to go somewhere with your list. Go somewhere with your list, because if you could have got all the things on that list, you would have had them by yourself. So I think if there's one thing we can abolish in 2023, is them lists. You just got to go away with the lists. And she said it. The old boy had 3 strikes. He had 3 strikes against 3 strikes. He didn't have the hairline that she wanted. Didn't want a bald head. She wanted his beard lower. And what else did she say? There was something else. I don't remember. I lost count. I was like, listen, I still could think she's beautiful, but I guess I wouldn't even measure up. But that's okay. That's all right. Um
I just feel that's an
so
ulterior motive. I just feel that's an ulterior motive. I just don't understand why she's on the show, and that's just me being a bit biased because obviously when you see a pretty person, but she's sensational. Can't lie to you. So clearly, like if you're that sensational, you're gonna have no issue in terms of people coming towards you and being attracted to you. That's not your issue. Your issue is either you're picking the wrong ones or you're picking the wrong ones, right?
yeah.
So all that pickiness that you have, great, appreciate it, but you ain't getting the one that you need. And clearly, you striking somebody out with being bold is just nonsense. I'm sorry, it's just nonsense. That part is nonsense, right? His age, again, I can understand if you think he's going to be a little bit immature because he's like 1 year younger, but again, it's kind of nonsense again. So even that thingy, it's too much. So my thing is, what craziness is within her heart? That's what I want to know. Okay, right? What craziness is there? Because the harder they are, that scale is the harder they are, the crazier they are. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
And she got a lot to her, as Seaway would say. She got a lot to her as well, because her dad didn't show up. And the impression that she gave me was that she was used to that. Like, the way she shook it off means that you're used to a certain level of disappointment, right? Or that that this was not surprising to you. And she even said on the after show, she said that I'm not surprised, because I know how my dad is. And it's like, what is your barometer for tolerance? What are you looking for really in a man that's going to add value? Um, so I don't know. I can't imagine if I had an adult daughter and I didn't want to take a.
COVID test. That what happened?
Yeah, yeah,
So you didn't want to take a COVID test?
yeah.
What do you mean?
I was
So
trying not to
wait.
say the word.
Oh
Um,
yeah, sorry. So he didn't want to take a CV test. Just
Correct.
so that was it. Not that he had to get a
That's
vaccine. Taking a
again,
test.
you know black folks, right? What some and I don't know if y'all do it as much in the UK, but over here in the
You
US,
do.
there's code, right? So sometimes we will say something, we'll throw something out there, but there's something underneath it. And I
Yeah.
just feel like there's something more to that, because we don't want to say what it really is. So we're going to just say that. Maybe he didn't want to take the test, but that probably wasn't everything.
Yep.
I don't, I
The
don't,
test. A test,
People are
not even
doing
a
it for
vaccine.
work.
A
If you have a
test.
job, most so many employers are requiring that. Um, so it's just so commonplace. You know, for those of us that went to things in large gatherings, you know what I mean? It was a part. It's just like, so nobody said he had to be vaccinated. You know, because
Yeah.
I get that there's an anti-vaccination thing, but it's just testing to make sure you're okay and for the safety of the other people that are there.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, for me, I just think that that was, if it was true, it's a very bogus reason to miss your daughter's wedding and support it and be in support of her. I didn't, and her reaction to it let me know that relationship, she's used to being disappointed. It's not her fault, but that shows to me unhealed issues. And then if she comes on Mafs with a list, expecting that Mafs is going to fulfill the list, and then, you know what? I think everybody has a right to do what they want to do, right? So we
Mm.
let's fast forward to them walking down the aisle. You saw how many times she gave old boy a cheek?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that just shows me she's not compromising, because all the things that she wants, and it's not like she has to kiss him to show that she's compromising, but just her attitude about it. And even the friends, you saw them and they were like, ooh. Everybody was like, ooh, because they noticed they curved him, that she curved him. Um, and then this old dude is clueless, because how is he going to come in the end and talk about, oh, I kind of, it was okay to me. Seems like she had boundaries. Boundaries? Bro, you don't know? You don't know when you're being rejected? Like, come on, bro. Like, how am I blind? Like, was that not blatant, like, I don't, and he must have pecked her cheek 3 times. He pecked her cheek 3 times, bro. And she was like, not, you get somebody else to do it. She said, get somebody else to do it, because it
Ain't
ain't
gonna be
gonna
me.
be me. You gonna get
Ain't
this cheek.
gonna, ain't gonna be
And
me.
this is the other thing, and I'll sign off. When he complimented her, right? Normally, even if you're not 100%, the normal, it's like you're in that setting, somebody compliments you. He was like, God did his work with you, or whatever, da 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 da. And it's almost like she knew. She knew he was going to be impressed with her. She was like, oh, you have something to say? And then he was like, you're beautiful, you know? And she was like, thank you.
I know that.
Exactly. She didn't say,
You're stating the obvious.
oh, you're handsome, nothing. She was like, she asked him, she's like, oh, is that a green suit? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's nice. And he was like, "Oh, it's like a something green." And he was like, "I made my own bow tie." I said, "Oh, that's creative."
That's like patting somebody on the head. It's like, okay, I pat my dog. Oh, that's creative. That's right.
I was like, "Yo, oh God, don't respect at all."
Nice nasty. That's the southern nice nasty. She just horrible, bro.
It was a Mazzoline still. It was a Mazzoline still. See, wait, jump in real quick. I know you can't be seen, so let me just do it quick.
I know I can't be. I'm incognito at this point.
No
Look,
worries, B.
look. I had to jump in about Shaq and Miss Kristen real quick. The thing is, Sean, don't go off camera. The thing is, Sean, that he does not care that she pecked him, that she gave him a little peck or whatever, because he has his own motives. This is again, this is the second coming of the DC season, and I'm letting you guys know that right now. This is going to be the second coming of the DC season. Shaq
Have mercy.
has his own motives. He does not care about
That's
whether
fair.
she pecked him or not. He's over here trying to start a new life, and that's what I'm gonna say. And he don't care. Kristen, like you said, Sean, we already talked about this offline, should not be on this show with all of those requirements. There is not enough men who look the way she wants them to look, that has the money that she wants them to have. They're gonna come on Married at First Sight. They're just not coming on the show. So they only have a certain amount of dudes they can give you anyway. So why she thought she was gonna rule out bald heads, I'm not sure why she thought that. But they did her bogus, y'all. They did her bogus. They did her real bogus. And
I'm glad you came on too, because they was asking for you.
I mean, this is the main couple I had something to say about. Everyone else, I'm like, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But I think Kristen has a lot of issues. I think she has a lot to work through. I can tell that already. Yeah. And if she's already mad about the bald head, she's gonna have a lot more to be mad about. And that is my concern. I think there's gonna be a lot more problems that she's gonna have to work through with Shaq. And to me, his response about I love her boundaries and everything else just was very disingenuous. I think he's kind of happy that he got a baddie on his arm at this point, and I don't think he's concerned about anything deeper, because that meets his initial goals. Because the fact that he was getting married and everyone is surprised that he's getting married, it almost was like they were saying, I'm surprised that you're getting married to a woman, a person, a thing in general. They seemed very surprised that he was walking down any aisle. I'm just gonna I'm just saying.
Get somebody else to do it. It won't be me in 2023. That's my motto.
Everybody seems very surprised, and I'm just gonna leave it there. Yeah. Let's just pray for this couple, okay?
Yeah. You know what? I think both of them have got their own motives, if I'm honest with you. I think they've both got their own motives on the show. So I think Shaq's got his motives. I think she's got her own motives. I don't know why she's here. And hopefully we're wrong about Shaq as well. He shouldn't be here either. But yeah, I think they both got their own motives. I think this will serve them both. They'll both maybe make it to the 8 weeks. Maybe say yes after. Probably will end up saying no. Get their money and get their Twitter, their Instagram followers up and be out here. You know what I'm saying? Because personally, I really don't understand why Kirsten's on this show. If all those particular things that she wants, she damn well know after 16 seasons, your list is going to be ignored. With 16 seasons in, your list is going to be ignored. They ain't trying to match you with appropriate people. This show hasn't got a history, just like Ready to Love hasn't got a history of successful matching people up. So this ain't the show for you. If you want that kind of man, you should be a match-made millionaire. You should be on those websites where they actually match people generally with people that want to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It'd be like this. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the only successful couples that we see are people who, I shouldn't say have, I don't want to say low standards, but who are open to accepting people who are way more open to be accepting. Like with the New Orleans couple, the one they're really happy now.
Woody.
Yeah,
we were talking about them earlier.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't hear. But yeah,
Woody. Oh, no worries.
Woody and Armani, to me, yeah. They are, they're two regular people who are really open to growing together, learning together, starting a life together. And they both seem very open-minded about what they were willing to kind of get to know, or what type of person they were willing to get to know. And I think that made them very successful. Also, that other black couple, one dudes, I think he was African, and then she, it's another cute couple, black couple. I'm forgetting all their names, but they're still together. They just had a baby. They were both also. Which one?
Was it Michael? Is it you talking about Greg and Derek?
No, they're both.
Greg and
they're both okay. Greg, yeah, Greg and what is her name? What is her name?
I forgot her name.
But Greg,
Diana. You said it in the chat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Greg, thank you. Greg and Diana also very willing to be open. They were both very, very open, and I think that's the common. Thank you guys. I think that's the common theme of success here. If you're coming on Mavs for some high value man like last season, I mean, it's just not gonna happen. They're not on this show. No, Bree,
yes, that's right. They saying Bree and Vincent. That's another good couple, because I did all those other seasons I didn't watch, but Bree and Vincent, yeah, and she endured a lot.
But Bree and Vincent is a different situation. I would think Bree actually kind of was more on the desperate side than the open side, if you ask me. I think it's a little different.
We're just saying they were saying successful couples, but I didn't see her as desperate, because she came in a little bossy, and she was talking to her mom, and she was like, I don't see what the problem is with being bossy, you know? And so she has some tweaking to do as well, you know, with her personality and her approach to certain things. And remember, she, you know, made a little more seemed like she made more money than he did. But they were able to make it through the test of time. And I don't know if they had their baby yet, but, you know, they're another couple. You know, that made it through the test of time. And I think Seaway, it's so funny. That's exactly what we were saying, because when we were talking about Gina and Clint, I said, I don't see that flexibility. I think she's going to come in there with, I want it to be a particular way right up front. And you just don't get that with Mafs, right? So I think I see that definitely in Kirsten. So that's going to be a big major issue. And, you know, we joke, Mafs will tell you in a second, like, if you could have commanded that in your personal life, that list, then get it there. But don't come to us with your list, because we're gonna blow that list to smithereens. You take your list and you could go fly a kite with your list. Because what we're likely to do is give you everything you said you don't want is what you're going to get. So I don't know about Kirsten. I don't think they're going to make it.
And when you put people who by societal standards, because don't get to people calling, you know, trying to get me in the comments, who may not be on the same level looks wise, I also noticed that in Mavs history, it doesn't seem to work out. Because say what you want, Olajuwon and his wife, they're both really cute, and I think that helped them. You know, I've noticed a lot of the couples that are still together, when Mavs actually matched people who were looks wise on the same level, whether they were both, you know, more attractive or both more unattractive, if they were more equally yoked in that department, I've noticed that they've stayed together better. When they try to mix match people who, like Kristen knows she's cute, she's very much so aware, giving her answer, and you didn't gave her somebody that in her opinion just ain't it, they know what they're doing, and that doesn't seem to usually, you know, work out, because one person thinks they're better than the other person. So
now, as a, you know, just give me your perspective as a woman, right? Like, do you think he's an unattractive guy?
In my opinion, I don't. I think he's a regular looking guy. And I think for in I would say in the young 30s, I'm still not dating. Like, if I was still dating, I would say most men, though, that I date in my young 30s aren't bald yet. I will say that. I would say if I was still in the dating pool, most of the men that are out there that I would be interested in are not yet bald. So maybe that's something that bothers her. I'm not sure. But outside of that, I think he's an average looking dude. But she's not average looking woman. I think she's above average looking woman. And so maybe she wanted something else. I don't think he's a bad looking guy, though, at all.
That's good to know. So I just was wondering because I mean, when I see them together, they don't, like even in the pictures, it's not like, although she is gorgeous, and don't get me wrong, it's hard to match men and women up, right? So I'm glad you answered that. Unless they kind of like stand out and really look diametrically opposed, I think realistically, Morris Chestnut's not walking up on Married at First Sight. So, whomever her ideal type might have been. Well, he's bald now, so maybe he's not her type. But, Chris Brown ain't coming through there. Trey, you ain't gonna get Trey Songz running through, or somebody that looks like that running through Mavs. And the reason why we gush over Kirsten so much is because we don't always see women that look like that full package, right? There's some pretty women. I'm not discrediting any woman in the past that's come through the Mavs scene, right? But full package, she's one of the more attractive sisters that have come through there, and you don't always see that. Again, my opinion, how I feel, what I am attracted to. I've seen some attractive women come through there, but I don't think as a whole, there's a bunch of baddies that are looking like Kirsten that fly through that state, fly through the screen every single season. No, maybe one, here or there, but overall, not so much, So again, I think it's about having realistic expectations, because if you want all this, don't go to Mafs.
Coco made a good point. I think if she was matched with somebody like Keith, she would have been very happy with that. Shout out to Keith. That is one of the finest men that come through Mavs. But I also, Keith is the one that was dating the R&B singer recently. I don't know if they're still together.
Oh, Ari Fletcher?
Not Fletcher, no.
Well,
but Ari Lennox.
Lennox, there you go.
Yeah. So I think that's what she would have been looking for. Maybe Olajuwon without the crazy. Maybe Nate without the Robin Hood trading. I think that's probably what she would have been. I think that was the look she was going for. Not.
You better stop it.
Not.
I'm just gonna be here interviewing, so don't you fumble
the bag. I was giving Nate a compliment. I'm saying I think that's the look that what she was going for. That's the look. But Keith probably was on point. Shout out to Coco. I think Keith is the look. Honestly, maybe even Miles with Karen. I mean, I think that would have worked. Miles would.
Well, she wasn't even happy with him. She ran him through the mud, and we see what's going on with those two these days.
That's just Karen. That was Karen being kind of. She had a bit of an insufferable spirit, so I think that was just her. But yeah, Miles would have worked. I think she's just not quite happy with what she got. Yeah, so.
Yeah, she's giving us Alyssa vibes when she was like, she don't want snaggly teeth.
She said, yeah, can't be it. Can't be me. She said, it gotta be perfect, baby. Sorry. And I get it. She's a fine ass girl. Why would she want anything less than that? To get me, I'm not mad at it.
And again, look, don't come to Mavs. You take your list to the streets. Take your list to the world.
But I think this is also the delusion that I know yesterday on y'all men's panel. See how I didn't say little men's panel? I'm making progress. Yesterday on y'all men's panel, you guys were talking about the delusion, or not you guys, but he was talking about the delusion of single mothers. I think a lot of people suffer from delusion, because if you can go on Mavs after 16, 15, so whatever season we're on, and still think that you can demand certain things, especially in a very small dating pool. I mean, maybe the women may be able to demand a little better for the white men, because there's more options, there's more of them, and even there, I don't think they're getting much better. But as far as the black women go, I mean, the pool of men that are coming on this show, and if you haven't noticed, even after 16, 17 seasons, none of these people have kids. So imagine how many people they're ruling out on Mavs, because I think they must have a rule about no children, because there hasn't been a single person that I know that even has kids that come on this show. So you're ruling out a lot of men. So then after that, what black men are left that don't have kids, that are somewhat successful, and then you want them to have their whole hairline, look good, be tall, whatever, you're asking for a lot. You're asking for a whole lot. So I just think it's a bit delusional to think that you're going to get all of that. You're better off coming on the show being open-minded and going with that. But regardless of the looks wise, I think they did her bogus with Shaq for other reasons that I'm concerned about, which is way more bogus. But I mean, looks department, I think she should be open. I don't think he's that bad, but clearly it's not what she wanted, because she said no bald heads and they gave her somebody with a bald head. So I don't know.
I hear that. All right. Well, the hour's passed. So Sean, give us benediction. And we're gonna be out.
I love it. Seaway came in right on time. So listen, this is a tricky one, folks. I think, I said it earlier, we love marriage here. We support love. But I just don't know. I don't know. What I will say is, just starting with where we ended, don't bring a list, especially a superficial list, to a process of marriage, right? What are the things that are going to make your relationship grow, right? And if you're looking for help, and you're looking for advice, please be open to the advice, be open to the suggestions, and also be realistic if you struggled, right? If you're struggling on the dating scene, if you're struggling to get what you want, you have to be open to doing things differently. And if you're not, then you're going to continue to do the same things over and over again, right? So you have to look at that mirror. The mirror is so important. We talk about that so often. Look at the mirror, what's reflecting back at you. Not to mean you don't love yourself, but you should know you should know yourself enough to know what you can do better and what are the things that you are working on to get better results. Also, please don't go into situations you're not ready to. We think about Dominique and her situation. It's blatant. You're not ready, right? Aris, I don't know. Could it change? Perhaps, but all signs are pointing to he's not ready. Don't enter into a situation that you're not ready to be in a relationship. Same thing with when it comes to forgot her name out of my head. Clint and Gina, sorry. You have to be pliable to enter into the Mafs process. Gina and Kirsten so far are giving us not pliable, not being willing to move, wanting things to click right off the bat. If you're open to a process, give the process time. Back to you, Coach.
I loved it. Loved that. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure talking about this. I'm waiting for the next episode. I'm actually excited. I'm actually excited about this season. I can't lie to you. There's a few. I feel like it's warming up real nicely. And we'll definitely see some things spill over, I'm sure. And I'm intrigued to see where Kirsten and Shaq go. I'm interested where Aris and Jasmine go. I'm wondering if Nicole's going to trample over Chris. I'm wondering whether Clint is going to show his true colors with Gina, and whether Dominica is going to out party. What's his name now? Is it Michelin or Michelin or Michaelin or what's his name? I forgot his name. McKinley, that's it. Overpower McKinley. So we'll have to wait and see. But about Thursday night, we're back here for live, talking about that. We'll also be talking sisters as well on Thursday night, an hour before they're ready to love. Listen, there's some great stuff coming up. So tomorrow night we'll be doing our live open panel. Ladies, you wanted to have your say. You saw the men's panel on Sunday. This is your chance on Tuesday night to come and have your say and talk about what we spoke about, which was, can men tell the truth to women in 2023? Some of you even commented saying that, they were disappointed in the conversation. Well, this is a time to open your mouth and come on the screen and actually say what you got to say. No point shouting from the stands if you ain't going to come onto the screen and say something. So we want to see you guys come in and have that conversation. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night as well. All right. Much love and appreciation, guys. We'll see you again very, very soon. And all the best. Much love and appreciation.